Hey gang, Steve here with another bass guitar lesson. Today we'll be looking at different types of basses. One in particular. This is a Fender bass. Fender invented the bass guitar. This is called a Fender P bass. You can tell a P bass by its split coil pickup. The P stands for prisoner. When Fender first started to produce the bass, they wanted a cheap labor pool to make them, so they used prisoners of war. They invented it during World War II. They used prisoners of war to build the basses. They did a great job on the whole. Germans, Italians, Japanese, great craftsmen. But some of those sneaky Germans had a secret agenda, and some of them, more spyish types, were using the bass guitars they were producing in the prisoner of war factories as a means of getting information out of the country back into German hands. And they did this by carving words in the back of the neck in German up the back of the neck. Of course, that was not very subtle, and it was noticed after about 8 or 9 months by the CIA. Noticed that there was German writing up the back of the guitars as they were being shipped out of the country. So they clamped down on that, and so the sneaky Germans went to the next level, and they started to hollow out the guitars. And there's a hollow chamber in here in which they could stuff photographs and secret messages inside. Then once again, I think it was somebody in Louis Armstrong's band one day looked down at his Fender bass guitar, and noticed that there was a big latch here and a couple of hinges here, and he explored and opened it up, and out came a whole heap of secret photos and sensitive military information. So that was stopped again. And then finally the sneaky Germans took it to the new level, and this was truly ingenious. They actually altered the tuning of the bass guitar so that when you played the regular scale, instead of C, D, E, F, G, H, whatever comes next. Instead of the regular scale, they changed it so you could spell out other letters, and you play up the scale and it would send up a message like PERSIDENT, blah, blah, blah. President at the pie factory next Tuesday night. So that information would go to Germany. They know that Truman was at the pie factory next Wednesday night, or what's another message they could send? D-Day on 28th of August, whatever day D-Day was. So that information was being sent up. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant idea. Until the CIA got onto it and started to send their own ridiculous information, like red herrings, through bass guitars. Have developed secret pie weapon. If you eat pie in Germany, you will die. So, suddenly everybody in Germany's warned never to eat pie. And probably one of the reasons why the Allies won the war, because the Germans, as we know, eat a lot of pie, and when they were denied pie, they started to starve. That's, mass starvation all around Germany, simply because of a clever ruse here. Now, of course, when the war ended, you weren't allowed to keep prisoners of war anymore. I think there was a legal crossover period where you could have them for about 12 years. In some cases, I think they still had Italians after 12 years. The Germans went back after about 6 years. The Japanese, I think, they were allowed to keep them for about 14 months or so. Eventually, they ran out of prisoners of war, so they went to regular prisoners. I'll tell you more about that in the next episode.